There was a man, and I think it was New York City, and I think the story is true, but I don't have a proof of that. But it was an artist, and he went around painting people. And he walked up to this man who was a homeless man sitting on a bench in New York City. And he had on old raggedy shoes and old raggedy pants and raggedy shirt and an old hat on his head. And it was obvious he hadn't bathed in a while. It was obvious he wasn't eating well. It was obvious he was homeless. And the man set up an easel and said, may I paint you? May I draw you? And he said, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. So he sat back and he began to draw, and he drew and he drew and he painted for a couple hours. And finally the old homeless man says, when do I get to see this? He said, when I'm done, I'll show it to you. So he paints, and finally he gets finished. And he says, can I see what you've done? He said, yes, you may. And he turned and looked at the picture, but yet the picture was not a homeless man. The picture was the guy in a brand new suit, brand new shoes, haircut, very wealthy, well-to-do man. And the bum looked at him and said, is this the me you see? He said, this is the you I see. And he took the picture and he said, well, this is the me I will be. And he left and became a successful businessman. One of the things that you have to understand is that you are acting today the way you see yourself. Good or bad, you are acting by the image you have of you. But the image that you have of you is not necessarily the image God has of you. God has a different painting of you. As a matter of fact, most of you are hypocrites. You're acting below the standard of who you really are. I said you're a hypocrite, you ooh. Wouldn't fight me. No, but I said that to be nice to you. Because the you that God made you to be is far greater than the you even know about you. Now, I named this sermon this because I was thinking, I've been talking about lions, and, I'm not a Disney fan. Sorry. I hadn't lost anything in Disney World. As a matter of fact, I don't ever go to Disney. If you gave me a ticket, I wouldn't go. Now, I'd probably give it to Carly, but I wouldn't go. I've already seen It's a Small World After All 2 or 3 times when the boys were growing up, and that was pretty much about all anybody needs to see. So, but I'm not a Disney fan, and I don't watch Disney movies ever since Bambi came out. I just do not watch Bambi. I think Bambi's heresy. So anyway, but there is one movie I want to mention. That I think there's one piece of the movie that somebody at Disney got it right. And so I'm just going to brag on the one thing I thought they did right. And in the movie, The Lion King, if you remember the movie, there was a time that Simba is Swahili. When I was in Africa, I learned this. It means lion. And that's what that means. So Simba was off running around with a monkey, a pig, and what's that other thing? A meerkat. A cat. Now I want you to think about this. People are known by the company they keep. Now, and yet that's kind of about the way many Christians are. But there came a day when Simba looked into the water, which was a reflection, and he didn't see what he thought of himself. He saw his father. And then is when his life changed. Because it wasn't until he looked in a mirror did he know who he was. Now, we're going to talk about who you are today and what you look like in a mirror, or the real you. And you're going to be a little shocked, but I hope shocked to the point of of walking out of here a lot happier than you walked in. And I hope you, and I pray that many of you from this day forward, your life will begin to change drastically. So we see Simba looking in the mirror, and then we realize that he starts realizing, wait a minute, I'm the king of the beast. Now, there's nothing wrong with me having pigs, but this pig should be dinner. I didn't think y'all would like that. Whenever we read our Bible, we understand, and I want to work on something, and I'm telling y'all I'm going to work on it. I'm going to get me 3 giant-sized posters of a person. I mean, I'm talking about big, giant plywood of a person. Because a human is very different than an animal. We're not from the animal kingdom. We are a spirit, have a soul, and we live in a body. The average Christian, now, and I'm not saying this to be condemning, we live out of our soul and our flesh. And the Bible says we act like mere men. There's not a lot of difference in a Christian and an unbeliever, though you be born again, though the greater one lives in you. So when you begin studying who you are from the Bible is the only book on the planet. There is not another one that will tell you who you are. If you close the book, you'll live and die and never know who you are. It is the mirror that you must look into that brings you liberty.